Can I steal you for a minute?
Steal you for a minute?
Can I steal you for a minute?
Welcome to Can I Steal You for a Minute, the reality dating recap podcast. My name is Indra Raj.
And I'm Mary Bianco.
And it's time to talk about the two most boring episodes ever.
What a snooze fest this week. I was just like, wrap it up, everybody. We know what's going to happen. Just take it out of here.
Right. It was like, I just don't know why they made the Love is Blind finale an hour and 20 minutes long when only two couples were going to the altar. Like, it was too much. We'll get there. We're going to talk about that. But first, we're going to talk about Joan's hometown dates, which were very uninspiring.
Yawn. It's like, oh, big surprise. These 4 white men are rich. Oh my God. What a surprise.
I know. Right. Where do we start? In fucking Lake Tahoe with
Guy's backyard is Lake Tahoe. And he's like, oh, let's get on the boat.
He's from Reno, right?
Yeah.
So does he have just like a home in Tahoe? I sort of missed that part.
I mean, I think so. Like, he
has that vibe.
Yeah. His teeth are so white. They're like blinding. Like in it.
You think those are veneers? I feel like
I thought
maybe.
Know.
Yeah.
I thought maybe like some kind of tooth replacement, because I don't think dentistry was up to snuff when the guy was like a young person. So for him to have teeth like that, still his original, I don't think that would happen.
So my question is like, are dentures a thing of the past?
No, I don't think so.
Because, like, I guess you still need dentures if you don't have any teeth for a veneer to, like, attach to, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think a lot of people would do, like, dentures over teeth sometimes too.
Right.
So
I was sort of thinking, like, maybe dentures on him.
They kind of did look like it. Like, they're a little bit separated up here, but I don't know. I don't know what they are because he doesn't lisp at all.
Oh, is that a common thing?
I think so. I mean, I do when I have my retainers in, so.
Yeah.
That's all I can compare it to.
Right. When I wear my night guard, I, like, sound like a crazy muffled.
Oh, yeah. Talking
garbled.
for the night has to be over if I'm wearing my retainers. I'm going to sleep.
Yeah, totally. In any case, he does have very white teeth, like shockingly white teeth. One of those things where it's like, it's not even about the veneers or whatever. It's like, because that's like a thing in like the UK. Like whenever we're watching the Love Island UK, it's like, I don't know why the veneers are so big there.
I don't know either.
But they always look unnatural. Like it's very possible to have veneers that are like totally unrecognizable, but like guys' teeth look unnatural to me.
They look very unnatural. Like I always think about my mom has 4 veneers, and I always forget this because for anyone whose teeth hurt, my mom got braces when she was 40. Like she got them at the same time as me after like overcrowding for years. And they went to go tighten her braces and they snapped 4 of her teeth.
Oh, like in the front?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Because her teeth had been pressing against each other for so many years, they were like weak. So if anyone is debating getting braces for crowding in their teeth, it's not just cosmetic. Like it's a good idea.
Oh my God.
So she had to get veneers, but like my mom just has kind of naturally like grayish teeth. Like they've never been white. And they did such a good job. Like she got them done. She's sick almost 30 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And they are a perfect match to the rest of her teeth. And you would literally never know that she has veneers. So everyone getting this like crazy set of straight across teeth, you're paying too much money for something that looks insane.
Yeah, that does not look natural. Like it's total like, yes, I have seen veneers that are like so natural you would never know. Like, I don't know. I feel like that art in dentistry has just come like so
it's
far.
Just died, yeah.
I don't know. It must be something like almost culturally in the UK where it's like, oh, if you're going to get veneers, get them bigger and whiter.
Yeah, like go for it if you're going to do it.
Do the whole mouth and like do it this way.
Or maybe it's like cheaper to just do the same thing on everybody else. So they're kind of doing this like much cheaper, like, I don't know. It's like, I love unique teeth. Like I love a gap in the teeth, and like if teeth are like a little bit crooked or not exactly aligned, like I don't know why we're doing this like straight across same thing all the time.
I think I mentioned I like follow this guy who like looks at celebrities and like sees, and it's like there are celebrities that have gotten veneers that I just like I would have never known. I didn't
No.
notice, but then when they point it out, it's like, oh. And in some cases I'm like, I'm not really sure why you did that. Like they had sort of a unique thing about it.
Yeah.
One was like Emma Watson. She had like kind of smaller canines, and I don't know, I thought it looked
It's
cute on
cute.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then, of course they like made it more straight and whatever. And it's just really interesting. So anyway, that's a huge
Anyway,
digression.
guys' teeth are crazy.
Yeah, guy is just not my type. Not my
No.
type.
No, and I think that whole family felt a little bit boozy in kind of a way that I was just a little bit like, I don't know. I there were so many people there and I didn't feel like we got a good grasp on anybody, and I just can't get what he did out of my head, and just seeing his children and
Yeah.
wondering what they really think or what they know at that
What do they
time.
know
Yeah.
is the thing. I mean, I felt really gross watching the whole thing. Also, like, he's from one of those families, like, apologies to anyone who's from one of these families, but everyone's name starts with G.
I know. And then there's like Mackenzie.
Yeah, there's like one outlier, and it's like, wait, what's going on? And like, I actually like know families where they've done that, and like, it's not cheesy or
Yeah.
whatever. But for some reason, because he's already so like cheesy seeming to me, it just like amplified that to the max. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I don't know, his sisters, like everyone just seemed like they were in fucking La La Land in that
Yeah, it
family.
felt like a lot of like just a lot of probably pills and wine going on, and like good for them. They all seemed happier than I am. Like it is what it is. They just seemed at peace, you know?
My favorite part was like before they met the family when they were on the lake and they like threw rocks in or something to make a wish. And Joan's wish was, I hope that I find someone to spend my golden years with. It was like,
Yeah.
Joan, literally, that's why we're all here. Like, could it get any more obvious? Like, couldn't you come up with something better than that?
I know, but I think she's like legitimately worried that like it's not gonna
Right.
happen. That like she's
That's
gonna
true.
end up by herself. And yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she does seem worried. Guy was the only person besides Chalk where she expressed that worry, as
Yeah.
well, she expressed it with the other guys, but I think it was kind of like she just didn't have anything else to say. The one thing she said with Guy and Chalk, which I think is just a tell that she's further along with them, is that she said that she feels guilt with
Mhm.
in both of her conversations with them. She brought up the guilt thing around moving on from not her ex-husband, her husband who passed away. And she did not make any mention of that with Jordan and Pascal. So, because there's no
Yeah.
guilt there, because she's not going to choose them.
No,
So
it's
obvious.
just supposed to be fun with the 2 of them anyway, so it's kind of
Right.
like their whole dates, I was kind of like, "What are we really doing here?"
Yeah, it was almost like promo for something else for both of them,
Yeah.
i.e. the beach.
Yeah, I hope so, because it's like Pascal's I'm kind of done with Guy. I'm done with Guy, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Pascal's date, like, looked fun, like, it was like
Yes.
he took her to his salon and she got some amazing treatment. I think Joan is very beautiful.
Mhm.
I would love if Pascal as a hairdresser was like, "Let's add a little dimension to this blonde." You know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Like, I
right.
think he could have really done something here where he like
I know. I wanted him to actually, like, style her hair,
I
like, instead
know.
of, like, her getting a hand massage from that
I
lady.
know. I wonder if it's extensions, so maybe that's why they didn't wash them?
Oh, y it could very well be extensions. I mean, she has a lot of hair for her age, and I mean, I don't know, I guess I feel like there's a period of hair loss for women, like, where, like, you have really full hair, like, into your 20s, and then it starts to diminish,
Yeah.
and then it sort of stabilizes, but
Yeah.
I don't know, I'm not old enough to really know that, but it doesn't seem like it gets fuller.
No, it definitely the pictures of Joan when she's younger, she has, like, thin, kind of curly hair, and,
Oh, yeah.
like, in the prom pictures, she had that kind of, like, poof thing going on.
Right.
So, it's not this luscious locks. Like, I think they are extensions, so that's probably why they didn't wash her hair, but I would just love to
Right.
see her, like, in a toned down blonde, maybe, like,
Right.
I don't know, just something. I wanted Pascal to really go for it and work his magic, but we didn't get that, and that's okay.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if she had a perm back in the day. Those were the
Oh,
perm
maybe.
days.
Who she
It
could
probably
have.
was a perm.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
kinda like yeah, go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Oh, it's just like perms were, like, ubiquitous for a while. Like, I feel like there was a few years where, like, every single woman got one.
Well, that's like the
And
crux of the legal argument in Legally Blonde, where she's like, "So you've been getting perms for years, and you took a shower right after the perm?"
that's so true. Like, would not be relevant today. Like, who gets a
No.
perm anymore?
No one.
Literally
It's like
no
the
one.
opposite. Everyone gets like keratin treatment to straighten their hair. Like no one gets a perm anymore.
Right, okay, can we talk about these keratin treatments? Do you know anyone who's gotten one?
Yeah, my mother-in-law goes all the time.
And does it just like, did she have really curly hair beforehand?
I don't know what her real hair texture is because I haven't seen her like without the keratin
Without that.
treatment. I
Yeah,
think it's I think it might be like very voluminous and not straight. So I don't think she has curly
okay,
hair. I think it's like very big and probably has like a little reaction to humidity in it. And she grew up in Florida.
right.
So I think that's what
Okay.
she always gets done is the keratin treatment. Deanna got her hair straightened in Japan, but she doesn't know what chemicals
Yes.
they put in her hair.
Yeah, because I saw her recently, she was showing me it, and she was like, "Yeah, like, I wanted to dye my hair or something," and the hairdresser here was like, "I'm not touching that because I don't know what they did to
Yeah.
to your hair."
And she's been back for like 4 months and it's still
Yeah.
straight. So I don't know what they did to her hair.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, but I'm always like it's so f yeah. Anyway, I think it's interesting, but there's
Mhm.
definitely, like, I feel like a preference in, like, glam situations for straighter hair, which is interesting when there was a time when perms were, like, the thing.
I know, and
So,
perms have yet to come back. Like how it's always cyclical, like perms have not really come back. It's been
no.
pretty much straight hair, or like big bouncy blowout my whole life.
Right, and there's, like, the beachy wave
Of
in
course, yeah.
some, Mormon wives circles.
Of course. Can you tell how bad this episode is that we've gone on tangents
Yeah, I
about
know, we're
veneers and
like
now keratin hair?
we're just talking about, like, teeth and hair and okay, so Guy is, like I mean, he's obviously top 2. Like, the
Yeah.
fact that Pascal is now number 3 is, like, okay, what are we doing here?
I don't know. I think she, like, has fun with him, and I think there is, like, this element of Pascal is a little bit more elusive, like, he doesn't really put it all out there. I
Right.
wouldn't say he's, like, guarded. I kind of thought this whole guarded conversation about him was, like, a little bit silly, like, I don't get that sense at all. I think they just don't have a future together.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like, what? Like, you just got out of a relationship, you were really in love with this person and you're not over it? Like, what are we doing here? Why
Yeah,
are you here?
it's also, like, not for nothing, Pascal, but, like, Joan's husband died 2 years ago, and here she is. So, like, I don't really
Right.
think you can actually play that card with her and have it be, like, resonating. And why has this not come up? Like,
I know. Well, and the same thing with Jordan.
I
Like,
know.
it was crazy that, like, literally his kids told her about how difficult the divorce was before Jordan said anything
I
about it. It was
know.
almost like he wasn't gonna say anything until his kids said it for
I
him.
I don't know, like, meanwhile, it's like we're finding out, like, everything. I just think it's all eyes on Chalk, and so
Right,
we
yeah,
know a lot about Chalk because Joan cares to ask him questions. We learned a lot about Charles because she was so charmed by him. Learned about a lot about Mark because he's probably the golden bachelor. So it's kind of
right.
like these other guys, and this happens a lot where someone makes the final four and we're kind of like, oh, they showed us nothing about your connection with them, like at
Right,
all.
right.
But this was big stuff that we were learning about both of them that just kind of,
I mean, I think it's a symptom of it being a shortened season.
yeah.
like, it's already such a short period of time, and, like, she simply didn't have the time to go on dates with these people, although she did have one-on-ones with both Pascal and Jordan,
Yeah.
where you would have thought some of this stuff would have come up before hometowns, but, I mean, and if there was anything, like, refreshing about this episode, it's that I feel like no one was, like, faking that they were any further than they actually are in the process, you
No,
know?
definitely not. Like, there was no, like, "Oh my god, I'm so in love with her," and the family having to be
Right.
like, "Oh, I don't really see that for you." Like, everyone kind of understood where everyone was at in a
Right.
very funny way, where it was like, like, Jordan's kids are like, "Yeah, he has his walls up. Okay." Like, no
Yeah.
one's like, "We're obsessed with Joan. We want her to be our mommy." Like, nothing like
Yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
I just think to, like, hometowns last year where, like,
Yes.
Gary in front of Faith's kids is, like, telling her he loves her and making out with
Oh
her.
my god, that was crazy. And then what happened, like, the fact that it worked out the way it did with her was just like, "What the fuck, dude?"
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like everyone's kind of honest about where things are at. I feel like, Pascal's kids were like, "We want him to be with someone. Joan seems great. Let's
Yeah.
do this."
They're like, "He's by himself a lot. Like, let's
Yeah.
just, like, give him someone to hang around with." Like, I think that that's
Yeah.
what it is at the end of the day. Like, it doesn't sound like Pascal was ever married to their mom. I don't know.
That's the thing is, like, I wanna know more, like,
Yeah.
where did these children come from? Like,
And
did I miss it, or did they never talk about it?
no idea. And it's like, everyone's offspring is gorgeous. I'd love to hear more about their
Yes.
mothers. Like, I don't really know what's going on here.
I know. I also, like, felt like Pascal was a little dismissive of his daughter
Yeah.
and, like, overly whatever with his son, and it
Classic.
felt very sexist to me, and I was annoyed by that, and I don't like Pascal,
Yeah,
like, in general.
he posts his son so much, I didn't know he had a daughter.
Right, and which
So,
is like,
that
ugh,
sucks. In
it
a season of
sucks.
girl dads, it's like,
Right.
what happened with you?
I know, I don't like his whole thing. The whole, like, I drive this car
Yeah.
and I care about all of these things. He's so, like, materialistic, honestly, and I think Joan sort of likes a little bit of that, but, like, I think even Joan's like, "I don't know.
I mean, I think she knows it's not him,
It's
and,
not
like,
him."
that's why it's like she's like, "Ah, him and Jordan aren't really opening up to me," but it's not like,
Right.
"What am I doing wrong? I want this to work with them so badly," whatever. It's kind of like, okay. Like, it's not they're
Yeah.
not opening up because it's not them, and that's fine.
And I mean, I wanted to know more about Jordan's kids too. And like, his daughters seemed cool and like
Yeah.
interesting. And I don't mean they showed us what they could, I guess. Like
Yeah.
it was funny how his one daughter was like, "Dad, like you need to actually open up here. Like,
Yeah.
have you been saying what you need to say?" And he's like, "Oh, I guess I
Like, I
haven't."
coached you.
Yeah. That was really funny. He's just like he seems like he's in his 30s, like, or younger.
He has such a young vibe about him, and, like,
Yeah.
I think if he wants to date a 40-year-old, I wouldn't really be creeped out. I just feel like that's where his energy more matches. Not that he's, like, immature or anything.
No.
He's just not tired. Like, he's taking Joan
No,
to
he's
the
taking shots.
taking shots on the riverfront, and Joan's like, "Yeah, we're 60. We still
We can
party." It's like, "Well,
Jordan parties.
my parents don't really, but that's okay."
Yeah, like, I don't think I've ever seen my parents take a shot before, but I mean, yeah, he seems what was interesting hearing from his kids, though, was, like, I guess he got divorced, what, like, 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It sounds like he hasn't really dated anyone seriously since then, so
Yeah. If I had to guess, he was just kinda, like, fucking and not telling
right.
his kids because he's a
Yeah, oh, for
good-looking
sure.
man, and he doesn't
Yeah, when I
seem
s
like, it doesn't seem like he hasn't been laid in 10 years. Like, I
No,
think
no. No, that there's a difference between that and actually being in a relation. It seems
Yeah.
like he hasn't had, like, a serious romantic connection,
No,
maybe I'll
definitely not.
say. And he definitely doesn't have one with Joan. So,
No.
still waiting.
No, and I don't think he was that sad. Like, I think it was ultimately fine what happened between them.
He looked a
Um,
little relieved,
yeah.
almost.
Yeah, I
Do you
think
know what
he's
I
like
mean?
Because the fun part of this is kind of over. Like, if you don't wanna
Right.
marry Joan, the fun
Yeah.
part, once she meets your family and whatever, is kind of done. Like, all the boys are gone. You won't
Yeah.
see the other guys again. Like, you're
Yeah.
just kind of on your journey by yourself, and it's like, yeah, you get to go to Tahiti, but also, like, you're in Tahiti by yourself for the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. 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 It's interesting. And then, of course, Chalk's date was just like
How
it
do you
was
not pick him
so
after that?
yeah, I mean, it was beautiful,
Yeah,
like, this memorial to his mother who had just passed, and the way his dad was like, "You're in love with this woman, I can see it," like, and we can see it, like, they're
yeah.
totally in love, like, it's totally him, there's just no other option.
There's no other option, like, the tears in his eyes saying, like, "I'm being really vulnerable with you, and I'm really asking you not to break my heart, like, I've been
Right.
through a lot this year, and I really, like, I need to know that you're not gonna break my heart," and she was like, "I'm not gonna," and
Yeah,
I don't think that she will. His ex-partner, Kathy, the woman who
yeah.
died, her dad being there and
Wow.
saying, like, "Chalk has been, like, my family this whole time," like, I think people who are still kind to their,
Yeah.
like, partner's parents after the partner is gone and still maintain that relationship, it's, like, the kindest thing you can do for
Yes.
someone who lost their child is, like, they don't lose you also.
Right. And I mean, it really seemed like his relationship with Kathy was like that was like the love of his life type of
Yeah.
situation. And I think he loves Joan
Yeah.
even. I don't think they really know each other that well yet, but I almost think it doesn't matter.
No.
Like they just want companionship and they sort of like talk in the same ways both emotionally and physically and they're kind of just looking for the same things which
I
is
mean,
maybe all you need at that stage in life.
they were, like, kinda making out there for a minute. I was like, "Guys?"
Which we like have not seen at all from
No,
anyone this whole season.
it's been lots of little kisses and, like,
Yeah.
Gary was kind of a maker outer, so I was
Right.
expecting the same thing, and I get that that's maybe Joan's boundary, but she really went for it, like,
Yeah.
with
She
Chalk.
usually like her way of kissing is like holding the guy's head really hard
Yeah, yeah, and just
and going like
yeah, yeah,
like, controlling it, like, "Okay, not too
yeah,
much
don't go too
here."
far, and
Yeah.
I think it's a good way to be, like, on TV. I just hope that she
Yeah.
can let those walls down a little bit afterwards, and I'm sure she will. I
Right.
just don't think you can go to someone's mom's memorial service
Yeah.
and cry with his family and have him do this, like, basically declaration of love where, like, he's, like, big guy, big feelings or something,
Yeah.
and he's got tears in his eyes, and I just can't not pick him.
No, I mean, it's almost like it's just so obvious that it's like, "Oh my god, we have another week of"
2,
like
3,
yeah, because of the men tell all,
which I
right?
wanna see, obviously.
That I will
Yeah.
be great, like, I'm really looking forward to that. I just want like, can we just skip the everything else and
I don't, like, really care about the fantasy suites. It's not gonna be up in the air. It's not up in the air at
No.
all.
No.
I
The preview, like, made it look like there was some sort of drama, but there just can't be. I mean, and it's great. It's like they found each other,
yeah.
and the one thing I hope for them, though, is that they don't rush into getting married the same way
No.
Gary did.
I don't think that they will. It's always funny with these because it's like, can these relationships work long term in the structure of like monogamous marriage in the United States? Because no one wants to leave their family. So it's
Right.
like she's
Right.
from like Indiana, right?
Yeah, I actually was trying to remember where she lives.
I don't know where she lives either. Let me see.
Which is like it's weird that they haven't like really talked about that much.
I don't know because it's like Chalk is not going to leave his family.
And he's
Joan's
in
from
Kansas.
Maryland. He's from Kansas.
Right. I don't know. I mean, maybe they'll just like this is an excellent situation where I think we can reframe how relationships look
Yeah.
in general, but also at a certain age, It's like there is a scenario where they don't need to live with each other all year. Like, they could spend 6 months in Kansas and 6 months over here, or, 6 months in a totally different place for both of them. Like, I could see that working with them
I think
somehow
so
and it
too.
not being a big deal. Like, and me not thinking that it was weird. Like, with Gary and Teresa, just everything felt so off with them that I was like, oh, and they're not moving near each other. Like, this is never going to work. And sure
Yeah.
enough, it did not work.
Yeah. It did not work.
So, yeah, I still think Gary was a gold digger. Like, I still think that's why he married her, honestly.
He was like the worst one of all time, though, because he was not married to her long enough to collect anything.
Right. Plus, she probably made him sign a prenup. Like,
Probably. She's a smart lady. She's
she's a
not.
smart woman. She's
Yeah.
not. She's not a dumb.
Yeah. No.
So I mean, I think that's all we say about that. There's really just nothing else.
That's it. Like, I'm rooting for you, Chalk and Joan. I can't wait to
Yes.
see our men back at Men Tell All. It was hilarious to hear Charles still mentioned. Like, what an icon.
I lit up. I was like,
Yeah.
wait.
Charles.
Charles?
Yay.
We love him. We love him so much. I want, how like everyone looks a little different at the tell-alls because like it's been
Yeah.
several months and they've maybe had some glow up stuff. Like, I just want to see if Charles looks any different. He probably
He's gonna look
won't at
exactly
all.
the same.
Yeah.
He's like so confident. He's like, I look handsome. I look young.
I'm so
He's gonna look
handsome.
exactly the same. I can't wait for his hot seat.
Oh my gosh, incredible. He's such an icon. Okay. So, Love is Blind. The season has ended. The whole thing was painful.
It was
Except
so painful.
except for maybe Garrett and Taylor's situation. That was not painful, but the
No.
rest of it was actually painful to watch.
Yeah, and we continue to learn more about Tyler, and so, like, this just
Right.
keeps getting worse, like, and their whole time watching it, it felt like a car crash. Like,
It
you
did.
couldn't look
Like, you were in
away.
slow motion.
You know she's gonna say yes to marrying him,
Yes.
and you're just watching her say, "Well, my intuition is insane." No, it's not. It's actually
Oh my.
awful.
Right. When she said that, it was like, "Oh.
When she was like, "Oh, and
Oh."
previously we were on the clearance rack." I was like, "You don't even know
Yeah.
how dumpster diving you are right now."
Okay, so wait, let's start with what we
Yeah.
know about Tyler because I think there's probably some stuff that I have missed. So,
Yeah.
okay, he definitely like I feel the mom spoke out, right?
Yeah,
Is
the
that
mom
so
spoke up
what'd she say?
that the first kid was to help her and her ex-wife have a
Mhm.
child together, and her ex-wife left while she was pregnant. And Tyler really stepped in to be a father to the kids and was like a father to this child the whole time. His baby mama identifies as a lesbian. So I think this whole thing has made her uncomfortable to talk about. But
Right.
somewhere along her and Tyler being such good friends and taking care of their child together, they had a romantic connection and conceived twins naturally. So at some
Okay.
point, they had sex like any other couple and
Right.
had children from that.
Very
He
decisively not sperm donor.
Not sperm donor. He is their father. Like, he is all 3 of these kids' father. He's been present at this. They didn't continue their romantic relationship again because, like,
Right.
she's a lesbian. He wants to not be with a lesbian, I'm sure, because, everyone
Right.
deserves to be with someone who's attracted to them fully. But they stayed friends, and his
Mhm.
kids sent him a happy birthday message to the pods, and he ignored it.
What?
Yep. And the
Oh
kids were
my
supposed to come to the wedding, and he ghosted them.
So they knew this was happening.
Yeah, they were
How
very
old are these
supportive of him going
children?
through this. His children, I think, are like 4 and 3, 4 and 2.
Oh my god. Especially the 4-year-old is, like, kinda old enough to know
Yeah.
to, like, remember this in a not oh my god. Okay, so then is the baby the baby mama, that's not what she is. I mean, the woman who birthed his 3 children, is she still friends with Tyler or, like
No, he hasn't talked to her.
so, like, he still has not had contact with his family now since
No,
this
and
whole
and
thing
and
happened.
she's like, "I'm an extremely private person. This is uncomfortable to talk about, but, like, people are talking about my children and speculating, so I'm just gonna put the timeline out there, and people can deal with it as they can." people, like someone from Ashley's camp said, oh yeah, he told her all this in private. Okay, if that's true, she's also then a piece
Why
of
is
shit.
she
This does, yeah.
Yeah. Why is she okay with that? Like, let me tell you, I would not be okay with the potential father of my children ghosting 3 children that he
Yeah.
has with someone
Yeah.
else when he has been a present part of their lives to the point that they sent him a birthday card.
A
Plus he
message,
like
like a recorded video.
and he just like straight up lied to her when she asked him, like he was like, "They wouldn't know what I look like." Like
I know.
that was the most diabolical part for me when he
That
said
was
that.
just a straight up lie, and, like, I think Ashley is a person who wanted to get married and, like,
Yes.
wanted to, above all, get married, and, like, I think a lot of people, in the interest of, like, saying that they're married, will push through a lot of really red flag stuff because then they can say to themselves, "Well, at least I'm married." Like, at least someone cared about me enough to get married to me, and it's kind of like that's
Right.
my new favorite phrase that I keep seeing on social media is, "May this type of love never find me," like, and so many people are, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
commenting that on Ashley's video, like, clips of Ashley on the show were like, "Oh my god," and
Oh, wow.
so
Yeah, I mean, it's like it's so yeah, especially like all the rhetoric like after they got married, the amount of times that they said to each other,
babies.
"I got a husband, I'm a
Yeah,
wife, you got a husband, I'm a husband, you're a
yeah,
wife." Like it was like these roles were like the whole point
yeah,
really for them. And it's like a really not seeing the forest for the trees situation. Like, what about all these really big tough life things? Like you're totally right. If she knew about all of this shit and she's like, "Oh, sure, just cut them out. Like we're starting our own thing." No.
no
This is
thanks.
not oh my god, like, it was so hard to watch the whole, like, getting, getting ready and meeting the family, like, all those conversations, I could have not seen them or seen, like, 20 seconds of them, and it
I
would have been
know.
fine. It just, like and it was just, like, I feel like they almost put all of that in to make it so, like, difficult to watch.
Yeah. I think because in a lot of that, you're seeing him, like, grapple with knowing he shouldn't do it. Like, there was, like, a
Right.
part of when he was talking to his mom where he's kind of hyperventilating and she's
Right.
first of all, his mom knows too, so, like, fuck her too. Like,
I know, that's what I was thinking. Why isn't anyone else in your life speaking about
I don't
this?
know. I was like, this is so fucked up. Like, yeah. So his mom being like, "Oh yeah, it's right to be nervous." Of course, you should be nervous. You're getting married after knowing someone for a month. But, like, also, I think part of his nerves were, like, his conscience being like,
Right.
"What are you doing?"
Right. I don't think he has a conscience.
That's true. He was like he's the grifter, just smiling, hugging her after they got married.
I think it was almost like, "Oh, did I think through all my lies? Okay, we're good. Let's get
Yeah, yeah.
married."
Are my
Like
ducks in a row?
and it's like, but part of me feels like he's not even calculated enough to do that. He's just totally like blank stare. I don't know. I'm like, do you 2 even know each other? Like, it feels like you don't know each other at all. Like, what even in the pods, and this is what we said from the beginning, it was like we didn't feel like any of these people had like real conversations about much
Yeah,
before they committed to each other.
yeah.
So, yeah, I need to see this reunion. I need to see what's going on with them.
I
Like, and I
know.
can't believe there's not anything leaked about it.
I know. I mean, I think it just filmed today.
Okay, but, like, still, like, someone has seen them around,
Yeah.
right? Like
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if people don't care enough, but people do care about this situation in that
right.
it's been incredibly toxic. So I don't know.
It's really yeah, I mean, it'll make for a good reunion. Well, maybe it will, who knows?
I mean, it depends. Like Nick just being like, "Hey man, be a father to your kids." And then like that's it. I'll be like so pissed. Like,
Right, right. That's probably what it'll be. I'm gonna set my expectations low.
"Oh yeah.
We do know that they are both at the reunion though, and they will be forced to at least tell us what their relationship status is. Like, is Ashley pregnant? She has no social media presence.
I hope
So
not." I mean, the picture from it, someone posted like maybe it was Love is Blind, posted the reunion looks.
Right.
And she doesn't look pregnant at all. Like, she looks very, very thin, actually.
She doesn't look pregnant. She doesn't look. When did they actually film this? It was
I think a year ago.
So it would have, like, yeah. I mean, it's possible that she got pregnant immediately.
Oh my God, if they have a baby now.
And is like in that breastfeeding body phase.
That would be crazy.
It would be crazy, but it's not out of the realm of possibility. And the way that these two were talking about getting pregnant immediately is like, I'll believe anything with them. Like, honestly. And it's just, it's really interesting to have someone on the show who has like no social media presence, like at all. Like, nothing. There's no clues, nothing.
It's so weird.
It's so weird. Like, and no one's been able to find anything, or we haven't seen anything. So very interested to see that.
Me too.
Okay, so we have to rewind.
Oh yeah.
To this even more painful conversation.
God, that was awful to watch.
So, I mean, Ramses was just looking for a reason to not marry her.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
The whole energy thing, it's like, bro, you could have brought this up a long time ago.
Yeah.
Like, you're just looking for reasons to get out of this. And I still think that it's ultimately about like the sex stuff. I really think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think and a lot of people have been commenting like in response to what happened with Marissa is that like a lot of people who have this like super bubbly, outgoing personality, guys like tend to be obsessed with it at first and then get like annoyed or like, oh, is there an off switch kind of like bullshit.
Right.
So I think that that's like what happened here is Ramses was so attracted to her bubbly energy. And then when he realized like, oh, this is who she really is.
Right.
He was kind of like, I can't handle this all the time. And that must have been so painful.
Especially
Marissa shared. Oh, go ahead.
Especially when she was like, this always happens. It's
I know.
always about this. I was like, oh my God.
She's like begging him.
I saw a lot of people giving her shit for asking him questions and making sure he really wanted to leave. And I'm like, you do realize, like, this was actually the realest breakup I think I've ever seen on any of these shows. Like, her heart was like literally breaking in front of us. Like, literally that feeling. It's the worst feeling in the world. I know. Like, we were witnessing it and she was bargaining. She was trying to figure it out because she was in so much pain. And like people giving her shit for that, I'm like, fuck you all. Go away.
I know. I'm like, our critical eye wants to be like, oh, Marissa, pick yourself up off the floor. And I made a meme about it. But also, like, I do understand that. And like, we're looking at it zoomed out and like everything compressed together where we're like, yeah, Ramses is a piece of shit. But it's like, she loves him. And
she loves him.
He told her the day before that they were picking out their first dance. So like, she was committed to him for better or worse. And like, he pulled the rug out from underneath her. So I think she was like in a little bit of shock to be like,
for sure,
what's even happening when she's trying to beg him to figure it out. And this is like what emotional gaslighters will do. Like, I know that word is overused, but like he definitely is one where it's like he overpromised and then quickly ripped it away. And so now she's like, of course she's like, what, like, what's going on?
Like, we were so connected. Like, she was like, 2 days ago, things were so perfect.
Yeah.
And now we're here, like, totally. And it's like, now I'm sure watching it, it's like, oh, yeah, definitely good that this is not the case. But in that moment, it's like, you can't see clearly.
No. She posted something today, like kind of in defense of him with the birth control conversation.
Oh, interesting.
Basically saying that she has rheumatoid arthritis. And so she has an autoimmune disorder, and all autoimmune disorders like flare up with stress. And so stress in law school and getting married in a month, like I think we can all imagine the pain that she was in.
Right.
And what they had discussed off camera is using natural cycles. And she had basically agreed to this, and she was fine with where the conversation ended up.
Right.
I kind of think that's like still giving him too much credit. Like I don't really care about the conversation they had offline that like she was able to come to a compromise that like they were
Right.
going to use natural cycles. Like he doesn't really care that you're uncomfortable about sex still when you are not in a good mood.
Right. It's kind of like that conversation is besides the point.
Yeah.
Like it's really about like how did he handle that situation when that was not on the table.
Yeah.
Like, it was like a zero sum situation for
Yeah.
him, which is like, okay, how is that going to translate to all the other difficult decisions that you all need to make as a couple for the rest of your lives?
For the rest of
So
your lives. Yeah.
you know what? I'm more I don't think they're together, but I don't know. I feel like their social media, her social media in particular, like leading up to this, like in the past few weeks, has been very like lovey-dovey, referring to Rams as like me and Rams doing this,
Yeah.
blah blah blah, like showing their dates and stuff from the show. But it's like if things had really cooled off between you, you wouldn't have captions like this, you know?
Yeah. It could just be her being like bubbly and la-di-da
Right.
and like happy-go-lucky because I think a lot of them like back post even if they've broken up. Like Monica was posting a lot about Steven before their breakup episode aired.
Right,
So I
right.
think it's just more like they're all trying to be influencers and trying to like take us along for the ride. But like I think that all the time with The Bachelor too, where I'm like,
Right.
this is kind of weird.
I know, like, it's their week for their one-on-one date, and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, look at how perfect." It's like,
Look at
oh, this
this.
did
And it's
not
like,
work
yeah,
out."
2 weeks later, he's about to stomp all over your heart. But like, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's very weird. Maybe there's some sort of, like, contractual thing or yeah, it probably does get better, traction
Yeah.
from, like, just in terms of likes and looks and all of that. I'm interested to see what's going on with them or, like, even just individually. Marissa, like, she was bubbly, like, in the pods especially, she was, like, pretty bubbly, but she's a deep thinking person,
I
like,
know.
she thinks about things very critically, she really, like, takes time to, like, honor how she's feeling and think through stuff and, like, has gone through difficult stuff in her life, she's not just, like, some vapid whatever, so
I
it's like
know.
it was almost interesting because I had, like, seen her completely differently by the end of the season, like, I didn't see her as that, like, bubbly person all the time, and I was just like, "I don't
No.
really think that's what's going on, Ramses." Like, of course, I wasn't there the whole time, but, like, she's clearly, like she, like, had this whole period where she wasn't super bubbly and was not feeling well and whatever, but she wasn't giving you sex, so that was the problem. Like,
Right.
what's the problem here, Ramses? You're such a piece of shit.
I know. It's like she can't be either. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah, you're just
what?
never going to be happy. You're never really going to be
No.
happy. And like, and that's your burden to bear and whatever. Like, I,
Right.
I, I don't know. I don't really even want him to be at the reunion. Like, I don't need to hear him. Like, you can't really defend yourself from how you acted.
No, he's just gonna say knowing him and his inability to kind of see how actually shitty he can be, he's gonna have all sorts of excuses. Like, it's gonna be excuse after excuse after excuse. Like, I will be very surprised if he takes real accountability. He may, like, pay lip service to a few things just to look good, but am I gonna believe any of that? No.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
no, 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 no.
No, I think it's like this I don't know how to even describe it. It's like I felt like in that conversation with him, I was at like a progressive cause meeting where we're like, no, I understand what you're saying about this rule that we're trying to enact, and I want to hold space for that. I want to hold space for that, but like
Right.
ultimately we're gonna go with what I want. Like it's kind of like this like you're saying
Right.
that you're gonna hold space for people to feel something, but it doesn't actually really matter. And it's like this tokenized, like woke type of speaking
Right.
that
Right. Right.
isn't
It's not
actually
really
backed up by any
listening.
kind of action. Yeah.
"Oh, I heard what you said. I can say it back to you, and I can acknowledge it." But when it comes to actually making any difficult changes for me and my experience, I'm not gonna
I'm
do
not
that.
doing it. No. I'm
So
not
it's
doing it.
like it's one of those, like, actions say more than words situations a little
Mhm.
bit. Like, it's very easy to say the right thing and to, like, appear to be, like you said, woke and, all together. But if you're not gonna back it up with actually doing something to, like, support your partner in a real way, like, you're just a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Doesn't
almost
really
worse
matter.
than just being an
Yeah.
asshole and being like, "Actually, I don't care about your feelings."
Yeah. This actually reminded me of the news I wanted to talk about, so we can do it at the end.
Oh, okay. Do you wanna talk about
We
it
texted
now?
about it. Well, we texted
Oh,
about it. It's
okay,
kind of
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Um,
Then Garrett and Taylor. That's it, right? That's
so I wanna talk about the Bachelor versus Bachelorette parties for a second because
Oh my
what the
god.
fuck, Netflix? The
Okay, for once, they send the men on a cool bachelor party.
the men get to go to a Wizards game and sit in a box with their friends and play a halftime game and get all this attention, whatever. And the girls got to dress up to sit in a warehouse with a bunch of pink, fluffy tents and do what? Take pictures? How
Oh
who
my
thought
god.
these
Okay.
were equal?
I cannot believe it. I totally agree.
Yeah.
Like
I I just am like, someone sent us a DM that I was like trying to read. Some bot wearing a Make America Great Again hat keeps like commenting fire emoji on our emojis and I'm on our Instagrams and I'm like, get out of here. You are not welcome here.
Yeah, like, please stay away from our page.
Yeah, we don't want you here. And I know that sounds exclusionary. I mean it to be that way. She goes, this girl writes, Laura DMs us an infantilizing pajama slash candy themed bachelorette party for full grown women. I was so pissed. Ashley's friends did not wear those cute skin tight short dresses to sit on pillows on the floor and eat sugar. It's like, yeah, they did not. Like,
I need to shout out, I hope she doesn't mind, that's my friend Laura,
is
who
it?
yes, and we love her.
Love it.
She's totally fucking right. Like
Yeah, no,
like
she's
that
100% right. I was like, yeah, this is so
exactly.
stupid. Thank you, Laura,
And,
for your
like, the
message.
way they show them, like, rolling up, like, going into that warehouse, like, they're
Yeah.
trying to make them look all cool, and I'm like, "This sucks."
This sucks. Like, it's not even close. Like,
No.
they can't go to a nice dinner.
Right! They can't be in
They
public?
they have to be in a warehouse. My niece
I
Sophia is
mean
7, and she would have thought this party's too young for her. Like, no.
I'm like, "Can we remove the traditional gender roles and send the women to the Wizards game?" Like, I would have
Yeah,
fucking loved to go to a Wizards game. That would have been
it would have been
so fun.
great. Like, or
Oh,
just any kind of event that has like
right.
something to it. Like, I don't know.
Literally, like, a bar would have been
Uh,
better.
yeah, yeah.
That was so ridiculous. I'm happy the guys got to have a great time at that game and be featured and all the rest. But when it happened, I was like, wait, so we really are down to just Garrett and Tyler. And
I
one of
know.
these situations is a complete disaster. Like, what are we doing?
And like, no, it's just so fun. It's just so funny. Like, it really is
Yeah. Garrett and Taylor's whole thing, though,
so
it
sweet.
Patrick and I are watching it and we're like, we love these two. Like, can we be friends with them?
I know. They seem great and like they're super grounded and there was no doubt that they were going to say yes. They didn't even like play around being like, "Oh, I
Right.
don't know." Like I
Right.
might not. It's like our families might not come. If they do come, that's amazing. If they don't come, then like that is what it is.
Right.
I'm really glad that Taylor's dad showed up.
Yes, I know because like I know we just I it was really nice to meet him
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah.
He like trauma dumped a little bit on Garrett.
I know. He's had a lot of loss recently.
I know, and he, like, really went for it, and I think Garrett at first was, like when he talked about his brother, Garrett was, like, about to start crying, and then he, like, brought up all his groomsmen and, like, his friend just dying, and I think you could sort of see Garrett be like, "Oh, man, where are we going
Whoa.
with this?"
And it was not like Fong got me through all this stuff and our marriage got me through it. It's like, yeah, Taylor was a good person to me through all this stuff. And I was
Right.
kind of like, this would have been a good moment to be like, not only is Taylor great, but like marriage is also great. Where it's like,
right.
yeah.
At first I was like, wait, are Taylor's parents divorced?
I thought for a
And I was
second
like,
too.
but they're not. Like,
No.
and he did say some like very complimentary things about Fong in the end, but yeah, I noticed that too. I was a little bit like, you could have said that like Fong helped you through and that Taylor also did, and he just knows that she's going to be a really wonderful partner for you two.
Yeah.
And it was sort of awkward and weird, but also he seems like a nice guy. He clearly didn't want to be a part of all of this and ended up
No.
doing it, and that was really great. And the part where like Taylor was talking to her parents before going into the wedding ceremony, and she was like, I found the perfect guy. And
Yeah.
her mom was like, "You did find the perfect guy." And I was like, "Oh my God." And like people say that shit all the time and I'm like, I don't believe that. But in this
Yeah.
case, I like really believe it.
No, I think that they like really found the right person for them. Like the person that
Right.
they will be with for a very long time, if not like the whole thing. Like, and I hope that we're not
Right.
proven wrong that like at the reunion there's some shocker and they're
Oh.
divorced, because that would be crazy.
That would just be kind of like the cherry on top of the worst season ever of the show.
Oh my
But
God, imagine like Ashley and Tyler are still married, but like Taylor
Garrett
and
and
Garrett broke
Taylor
up.
didn't work out.
Yeah.
No, there's just no way. Like if that happens, like I just love is dead or
Love
something.
is
I don't
dead.
know.
I'm getting divorced
Um
myself if they get
yeah.
divorced.
It's over, Ethan.
I do wonder if it's October 13th, because then I almost have the same anniversary as them, and that would be great.
Ooh,
Yeah.
lucky number 13.
Yeah. We're the
What is your
14th, but
anniversary?
October 14th.
Oh, okay. Very
So if they're
close.
October 13th, then
Mm.
let's party.
Yeah, I mean, it was just so sweet. Like the whole thing was adorable. I didn't realize Taylor's dress was like short like
So it
that.
wasn't. She shortened it.
Oh my God. I'm obsessed with that. I'm obsessed with it.
I didn't like it, but I thought I liked it better before, but I thought it
Right.
kind of like fit. Like I think if Garrett wasn't wearing a tux, like if Garrett was just in like a casual
Right.
suit, I would have been like, "Oh, this is perfect." Like shorten it. Like my mom's wedding dress was like ankle length hoop skirt, like very cute. But like if
Yes.
he's in a tux, I do feel like you should be in a floor length gown.
Right. It was a little like business casual.
Yeah.
I do think I liked it better before.
Yeah.
I think what I liked about it though was it just felt like
It
it
was just
was
her.
her
Yeah.
decision.
Mhm.
She was like, "I want to do this and I'm going to do it and I'm not going to worry about what everyone else thinks." And I just feel like it was sort of a metaphor for like
Yeah.
her and them and their relationship, and like you could see like Garrett's mom when she saw the dress, she was really not into it.
She was like, "Oh god." She's probably
Garrett's
thinking like,
mom,
does
oh
this girl have
man.
to be untraditional with everything? Like, they're getting married after a month. She's not even wearing a full length gown. Oh my god.
Garrett's mom was really having a hard time, just being happy for Garrett. It
Yeah,
was a lot of passive aggressive. You've never made rash decisions like this, but
I
now
know.
you're making this rash decision. And you never used to be like this, but now you're doing this. Like almost kind of guilt tripping him and then being like, but we're so happy for you.
Yeah, like
And
if
I'm
you're
like,
happy, then we're happy. I'm like, are you?
it was so, and the dad is just sitting there like cracking jokes about his marriage
Yeah.
and life. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so uncomfortable.
He's just having a good time. I need to know who a specific member of the audience is, and I made a meme about her. Who is the
Oh,
woman in
the
the
one
hat that was crying?
when you were like, I don't know who this woman is, but this is me.
I don't know if I took the sound off the meme, so you might be able to hear me laughing.
That was my favorite meme of them all. I loved it. I was like, this is so true.
Is there sound?
I didn't hear any sound, but I probably had my
Oh
phone
my god.
muted.
Oh no, it's not. Okay, there's no sound.
Yeah.
Who is she?
Who is she? She's perfect. She's everything.
She's like I was like, I have to go back and find this woman.
Oh my God. It was, yeah. I'm happy for them. I hope everything is good. It was the first time we heard them really talking about starting a family, I feel like,
Yeah.
in this episode, and they brought it up a lot, especially Taylor. So I wonder if is Vanessa gonna get her wish and have a baby announcement? Hopefully not. The reunion will be interesting. I
Yeah.
need to know what's happening with Tyler and Ashley. I just need to know.
I need to know because it's just like it's too much. I need to know what's going on with Tyler and Ashley. I don't want to hear from Leo and Brittany. Their time has passed. They don't need
Oh,
to have
I
a moment at the
know.
reunion. It's
I
over.
know. Like, for what? Like, is Leo gonna have some sort of conversation with Hannah? Like,
No.
I don't really know. People are, like, really hating on Hannah.
I
Like,
think it's like
hardcore.
I kind of am like, did I watch a different show? Like, why? And I said this last week, like, why are we obsessed with Nikki D? That boy was like cringe and had nothing to offer. I don't know why we're like, how
Yeah,
could Hannah treat him like this? I'd treat him so much better. It's like, you guys would hate him in a month. Like,
right.
you'd be the same as her in a month.
Well, it's like, and I don't know. I saw a clip from the Vial Files when he had Marissa on, and it was like about Marissa's reaction to it. And Marissa was like, "Oh yeah, I just couldn't believe she was talking to him like that." Blah blah blah. And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, it wasn't great delivery. Like, we can
No.
all whatever, but like it's kind of like the bigger picture here is that like she's about to marry this guy and
Yeah.
he can't fucking find the pasta. He
Yeah.
thinks it's in the refrigerator.
He can't boil water and he wants to get married.
Like, what would you do? What would you do? That's what I want to know.
I can't say I'd be nice. Like, I like definitely are you fucking kidding me would slip out at some point. Like,
Right, right.
who were you raised in a barn? You're a mama's boy. Like, there would be some
Yes.
mean stuff said. I would not have a notebook out listing off everything I hate about him.
No, no.
But the impressions of her are making me laugh though, where it's like, Nick, do you even know what this is? Nick, this is a roll of paper towel, Nick. You have to buy this at a store with money from a job, Nick.
It is like, yeah, I mean, it's definitely not just her. Like, it's
No.
like he has like no concept. Again, it's like he's defending the way he takes care of his cat and he doesn't even take care of his fucking cat. Like his dad takes
His
care of
dad takes care of it.
the cat. So,
And like one of my best friends is a cat owner. Like, they'll go away for 4 days and she just stays in the house by
it's
herself.
fine.
And she's
I
fine.
know. That is beyond me because my dogs need so much
know.
attention that I'm
Dogs
just
will
like,
literally die within 10
Yeah.
minutes. Like,
they're like, "What is happening? This is
I
not
know.
okay."
I
And
know.
cats are like, "Thank God I'm by myself."
I know.
Like,
Cats are like, I got this little water. I got this box
right.
to take a shit in. Like, who cares?
We're good. We're
Yeah.
good. Yeah. It's the whole thing with them is really interesting. She's primed to like apologize to him though at the reunion, which
I
is
know,
already
unfortunately.
really
I
annoying.
know
It's
that
just like,
sucks.
do we have to go there?
He doesn't deserve it.
Okay, well, so here's the deal. Mary's going on vacation.
I am.
We're so happy for Mary.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. And that means that we're going to record our reunion recap plus whatever's happening with Mental is not next week, is it?
No, it's just fantasy
Okay.
suites.
So we'll do Fantasy Suites and this Love is Blind reunion on our next episode. This episode is coming out on a Monday. We probably won't have another episode for you for like a little more than a week from
Yeah.
now. So make sure you're subscribed.
Yeah.
Then you won't miss it.
Oh, and here is
yes.
my final election PSA for the year 2024.
Do it.
Do it. Go vote.
Do it.
I will be casting big surprise my vote for Kamala Harris on Sunday. I'll be voting early before I leave for my trip.
Hell
If
yes.
you have a conflict or something coming up, go vote early. It's too late to request your absentee ballot, but
Right.
there's still time to go early voting to a poll. Voting does not start on Tuesday. It ends on Tuesday. So please, please, please go vote because idiots like Maddie Pruitt have a platform and are
Woo.
spewing I guess I'll just fucking read it. Like, I sent
Yeah,
this
you
to
gotta
Indra
read it.
earlier.
It's actually infuriating. My mail-in ballot has been sitting on my desk for over a week, and I'm like, I got to fill this shit out right now because this is not okay.
Fill it out. While we are on this is a selfie of Maddie Pruitt. While we're on the topic, please, when you vote, focus on policies and not the person. You're not choosing a spouse or a pastor. It's not a Valentine. The politics will impact you and your children. I understand that sentiment there because, yeah, it's not a love letter. Trump has made it a fucking cult. You don't have to agree with everything that Kamala is doing and everything that she says, but you have to acknowledge who's going to be better for this country. But then she goes, this isn't about politics. So is it about policies or is it not about politics?
Yeah, what is this about?
This is biblical.
Oh.
Freedom of religion is at stake here. AKA, I'm a white Christian woman and I want to be rude to gay people and they might not let me.
Freedom of religion. That was the line that really triggered me. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? You mean your freedom to like be a dominant Christian in this country? That's what you're saying.
It's like, because people are like pushing back and saying that you don't have to be Christian to like live in this country now, like your freedom's at stake. It's like your freedom is to do what you want, not to control what other people want. She says, mass media has made this election a superficial thing where we focus on personality, gender, and character of a person. We should be looking at policies that will impact God's design for marriage, family, and children. Which candidate will promote more God and bring this nation back to a nation under God? I could tell she's talking about Trump from there. Can I just debunk this whole bullshit that Trump is a man of God? He literally did not start going to church until he was running for president the first time. Because to quote him, idiots will vote in line with their God. And so he is literally playing in your face that he is a man of God to buy your vote. And it fucking is working. When we look at it, and listen, I'm a big Jesus gal. Okay.
Yes.
He would not like Trump.
Yes.
I'm laughing because it's like, how could you think that? He would not want you to vote for somebody who is separating families. You want to talk about how this is about families? He's literally separating families at the border. There are 5,000 children at least that have gone missing, and we just don't know where they are, just under Trump. And I'm not saying Kamala's perfect with immigration, obviously.
Right.
He wants to increase incarceration. He cut the FDA. Now we're seeing all this listeria recall. He is rolling back. I mean, Roe v. Wade was overturned under him, and women are dying. So do not fucking talk to me about how this is a man of God and a man of family when, if you want to get technical with it, he literally has 5 children from 3 different women. So like, fuck off. Like,
yes. Mary, I am obsessed with what you just said. I have nothing more to add other than in response to Maddie's batshit, whatever she put, do not forget that we live in a country where there is meant to be a separation between church and state.
Yep.
And that's very important to democracy. And that's all I'll say.
Also, like, under God, not just your God, babe.
Yeah. Right. Yep. So everybody
vote and fuck you,
because this is the last time we're probably going to be speaking to you before.
Yeah.
Wait, that's really crazy. Wow. I can't believe that this is going to happen.
Oh my God.
I gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta go. Next time we talk, though, we're gonna have a new president.
Wild. Okay. Everybody, we love you. Thanks for listening.
Take care of yourselves.
Yes.
Cheers, love.
Cheers, lovebirds.
Thanks for listening to Can I Steal You for a Minute? Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and if you like the show, please leave a rating and review. Follow us on social media at Can I Steal You for a Minute Pod, and support the show through Patreon at patreon.com/Can I Steal You for a Minute.